Yes, you're right.
Wake up.
The truth behind...
Did you hear from Coco?
No, but Yenny's gone and she left the baby here.
Are you sure? Maybe she just went out.
No, last night was bad. Yenny used to be responsible for what happened to Kuka. She said she'd handle it.
You walk straight into the mouth of the wolf.
If you're here to apply for the maintenance job, the entrance is on the other side.
That's not what I'm here.
Ah, in that case, the clinical trials are over here.
No, I didn't come for that either. I'm here to speak to the owner of the building.
You'll need to sign in at the reception desk.
And how can I help you today?
I'm here to speak with Nora Wisar. Please give her my name, Yenny Santian. I assure you she's going to want to see me.
Reception is requesting authorization for the room you told me about. Send her in. Call us back. Let me know if she's on.
Once, there was a glorious kingdom established among the heavens. From that kingdom came a crowned heir, tasked with seeking out the Genesis Pearl from the kingdom of darkness. The first crowned heir began her journey of seeking the pearl. But she was deceived, and the memory of her noble origins faded. She now believed that she was the queen of the kingdom of darkness. But take heart. A second crowned heir had already taken up the path where the first had stumbled. This is the story of your journey, of your tale to be told.
Excellent. I want you to make sure you settle the transfer to the laundromat.
I should do this before you meet her?
She's probably come to beg me to free her friend, this Kuka. But I don't find myself in a bargaining mood. She's going to have to do as I said. And I want her to disappear with that monster of a child once and for all.
If you would follow me, did Ballo give you the laundromat documents?
No. You picked everything up last night. I thought that you were bringing them here.
But that's why you visit when we get them. They need to go to this notary. Now, if you don't mind me asking, who has the contract right now? I do.
What? It's not like they have valid
I
legal.
know that, but I want to make sure the evidence is gone.
Well, you know, sure. But the man gave me quite the beating the other day. I think it is. So the contract is
Is
already
this
with another
part of
man.
the show?
Who will be opening it,
Mr. Lenny,
and
you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
You know, I figure she went to see Carlos. Maybe she asked him to help Kuka.
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show.
What are you doing?
The girl was still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
I'll go with you.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the God of justice.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough.
Kuka?
Open up now.
Unfortunately, the person who's in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance.
Why don't I ask you if I can be admitted?
And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
I'll speak to your supervisor.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
Let me see what I can do.
Thanks.
Excuse me, sir.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that badly? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge. That can't be right. How could Lenny do this? He was in the box on the stage the entire time. We can even hear his voice. Besides, before the show, he told us they would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates? That you are pressing charges?
I just think that I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges. But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
I mean, of course, my dear people. That's what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes, is the opponent I'll be facing. That's right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Lenny, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met.
First we had your
Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met.
Like he was supposed to. He must always
But
put up
with Lenny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here, on the grandest of stages, the Opera Epiclese.
confidentiality.
Was it a draw? She obviously lost last time.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot Outlander can build in such a short
pass out the cards that our friend Briseño has access to.
Yeah, that much is abundantly clear. Because while I'm trying to handle things the right way,
Lenny!
person, you are making sure they're spying on Beatrice.
How could I issue a warrant? I'm no judge.
Sorry about everything that happened just now.
You think I don't
Were
know
you frightened?
Briseño's helping you?
Of course!
What are you
Who
trying
wouldn't
to
be
do?
scared after witnessing an accident like that?
You're trying to keep people looking the other way.
Yeah,
You can tell
I'm a
everybody
little
the
shaken
truth
up
about
myself.
how Jenny to be our surrogate, and you wouldn't want that.
How could this happen?
For trying to make amends for
Poor
all the
Cal.
stupidity that you and Julio
I know you already
That guy
claimed
is a
that you would
murderer,
defend me,
Ma.
but
Can't you
now
see
it's
that?
just us talking.
He killed Rennie. The
Tell
security
me,
cameras at her place
do you
caught
think
him.
I could
We have
possibly
proof.
be the
He
murderer?
intended to murder Yenny.
Good
What's
to
next,
hear.
huh? We just set him
Thank
free
you so
while
much for
shoving him in
trusting
prison
me.
for a crime he didn't even commit, Ma?
I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point.
They've already killed his son.
But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left
All about how
is
we found her,
confusion.
how she became
I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
Conscience will bring nothing but struggle and catastrophe, and that I
I'm
cannot
about them when
permit.
we were reading at the bookshop in the
And
city
I don't
earlier.
just have
Pretty
us
cool,
think of
huh?
the business side, but the
Don't worry.
impact it will have
Hang
on
on
the
used
whole
her own
family.
savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel fund.
Because people are dying.
I think they look
Or
cute on
maybe
the
this is just
pylon.
collateral damage to you.
You have good taste, Lynette.
Because she was gestated in the belly of some
That's the right
Indian girl
attitude.
is not collateral
Feeling
damage.
depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self.
That's what she is. It's impossible to
But
change
with the
that
guards
reality.
watching our every move,
You'll have
it's
to
going
spend
to
your
be
whole life
especially
fighting the
difficult for
assumptions of
Lynette
people
and I
who
to
think
prove
like
our
I
own
do.
innocence.
You're a father now, Carlos. You must handle this like a man.
Good thing you
And
agreed to be our
defend your daughter from
attorneys.
what will be said of her unfortunate
Thanks for
background.
that. We'll be counting on you.
What do they say?
Yes, thank you so
My
much.
daughter is somehow wrong? There are so many more opinions
leave
that
it to
are
us.
important to me. Like my daughter's in the future when she hears all
Since we're
about
going
the
to start
horrific murder of
investigating,
somebody's
Hyman has a question
and
first.
that I'm to
Where
blame.
did Lynette go
That I
during the
didn't try to make it
performance?
right, that's important to me.
You're right.
Oh, well.
There are
I'm
much
afraid
worse
that would
things in
involve
this
some
life
of our
than this.
essential trade secrets as
Well,
magicians.
since you've threatened to
Secrets
investigate
behind our
everything that
magic are
Lenny's told
past
you, go right
saving,
ahead.
Lenny.
But don't miss a thing.
I suppose you're
And I
right.
assure you, you'll change
The
your
truth
opinion.
behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it.
Of course.
But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can go investigate the stage and the seating areas.
All right, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Hyman is on the case. Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Lindy's assistants,
All right.
named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the
What
crowd
prompts this
engaged.
sudden meeting?
As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowell inside it.
Sit down, would you?
This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. Ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap.
You would.
All these factors
I'm not
lining up
afraid
so
of you.
perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Lenny is the most likely person to have access to all these
Then at least
areas.
for your friend.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Right. Well, I have nothing to do with
Are
this,
you
but I'll
both
tell you.
good friends of
That man
his?
Valo is blaming Carlos.
Well,
But I
you
know he's not
can't say we're
responsible.
good
Because
friends,
at the end
but
of the day, man, you were the one
we've
who
known
tricked
each
him.
other
You
for
told him that his son
a
died in
little
trouble, but that's
while.
not true.
So in just a
Well,
short time,
he
he
may
was
not
not
have
only able to
gotten rid of
win
the
your
child
trust, but even
immediately,
convince you to act as his attorneys.
But he
I know
would
there's
have
no
in
such
the
thing
end,
as
but
magic.
not Alexa.
The real trick of a
He
magician
hates
is
what
holding
is
the
abnormal.
audience in
My
the
son
palm
is
of their
lying.
hand.
Oh, good for you. I'm
I've seen a
amazed
lot
you're
of
able to
cases,
say that.
and I can tell you
My
that people
son.
are the least
Very
reliable
nice.
kind of evidence.
Of course, yes, I'm sure he appears normal to you.
Sorry,
Because I doubt
I
you know the
tend to be
difference.
pretty straightforward.
Go ahead and mock
Just
me. Call me
know
names
that
if you
I'm
want.
warning
It
you for
doesn't
your
bother
own
me to
good.
hear all your lies because
Anyway,
I
you
know
may
that you were
investigate the
planning
scene of
to
the
get
crime
rid of the child.
yourselves if you're
Because
curious.
he's living
Who
proof
knows,
that
maybe
your
you'll be able
medication
to
is
come up with some
harmful
new
to women.
evidence.
What do you got?
What notary did you go to? I don't know him. But I bet Nora's pulling his strings.
Yeah, there's no way to let the family notary get involved in something like this. The transfer of the collection is very irregular. There's no freaking way she'll risk leaving any evidence behind, much less be involved in anything.
I suggested someone that I trust implicitly. That notary hasn't complete.
But they don't have time.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector app.
The protection that you promised us? Well, I haven't seen any proof of it at all. Arturo just spends his time 20 minutes
Raw.
like where his cat.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Lenny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
Be that as it may.
What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Lenny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
You want to make another?
That much checks out.
US.
Lenny reserved our seats for us, too.
I don't think
Don't you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for
Her
Lenny?
home has been secured for the investigation. It's no problem for me. I'll take care
Even
of it.
though it's bad for Lenny's case? Paimon had better write it down.
Several nervous breakdowns given the extent of the trauma she's endured recently. And she'll need sedatives.
Navarro's gonna tell Nora we were at the hospital. They'll associate me with you exactly as we didn't want.
I plan to be every only. They promised me to every again. They lied to me, and they even forced me to care for her. Observe the pregnancy and perceive the delivery, then flee the country. And when this all be done? You say I violated the contract when I did it. I never wanted to take that medication. The one you know that caused the deformity. You know what else I didn't want? To sleep with Carlos. You were the one who came to me.
Yeah. Look, I imagine he would do anything to make sure that you couldn't emotionally affect his children.
My son will grow up happy and healthy.
So this is the rope that broke
why I
and
got
caused
you
the
this
water
gift.
tank to fall.
Anna?
The only gift I want to receive from you today
The rope looks
is for
pretty
Kuka to
durable.
get home safely
How
and in
can
one
it be
piece.
burned
Understood.
through so quickly by
But
fireworks?
you are to never return to the hospital or Navarro. You will not contact my family, and you must never tell a
Why are
soul
you
about
suddenly
our
so
agreement.
serious, Traveler?
If you honor this, I'll disappear from your life.
It's the last opportunity you're going to get.
Oh,
As a token
Look,
of my
this
goodwill,
bit is
please
made from
accept
different
this little gift
material.
for your son.
most of it was
She'll
burned
be
away,
leaving
but
now.
there's still a little bit of it left.
They'll accompany you to the exit.
Huh. So if a rope
walk by myself.
She's taking elevator R5. Please confirm work.
Come with me. Surrender your
Hello
badge.
there. What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team is still collecting evidence. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The Magic Troop members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troop at all. Matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Look whose
Were the
phone is
victims
ready.
of previous cases also chosen at random?
I know, but there's
That's how
nothing
it
we
seems
can
to
do.
us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Hey, hey,
Okay then.
hey. It's okay.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact us.
Sonia, it was him.
It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Hello?
I've been given the go-ahead to release your grandma.
Okay. Where do we meet?
Okay, we're bringing her to the laundry. What are you doing?
Establishing the evidence, but this thing is broken.
Look, don't bother. Calm down. Don't find anything. I guess she's fine. This was that easy. You never gave it to me. What's eating you? You look stressed.
It's bad. The blood bank where we're keeping Nico's umbilical cord, I called, and they've got blood from Carlos's twins. The samples are total. They'll be able to perform a DNA test. Wait, samples of my children's blood? Are you sure?
Yes, exactly. Blood traces of a drug that have been provided to you. That's the explanation I received from Mrs. Weiser. But I told her in no uncertain terms that only you or your husband can authorize the delivery of blood from the umbilical cord.
I appreciate you taking the time to tell me.
Of course. It's the least we could do.
Maybe my sister-in-law spoke to Carlos.
I reached out to Mr. Weiser, but he never returned my call. So I decided to call you directly.
If we want to do this right, if we want to prove who the mother is, we need DNA samples from both Yenny and Julia.
Well, that's easy enough. I mean, I can get Julio's hair from my mom.
And Yenny could check the cabin. Probably just as easy to get saliva samples from the kids. We could do that. Because thanks to your brilliant idea, you can bet the clinic's already called your brother and Julia to tell them about this.
I believe I've got a plan. I'm going to remind Julio of our talk about the umbilical cord. I'll to keep it. Did you see the news on the channel? I did.
Pin them down!
Stand clear. Animal test 6308. Nice and spicy.
You're exposed!
She's in a meeting at the moment. You'll have to call back.
Could you tell her it's the baby?
I don't know what's happening to her, but something's definitely wrong.
I left a message for Mr. Carlos, but he didn't answer.
I'll tell her. And make sure that woman abides by our agreement, will you? Because she didn't tell Carlos that she has his son, but she does have a friend. A friend who hit Navarro yesterday, by the way, and who was aware that this Bailey woman was paid to be a surrogate for them.
In that case, I'm gonna make sure that she won't be a problem.
I hope not, because it also sounds like Carlos told her about the pill's effects. I'm very sorry to interrupt, ma'am, but there's an urgent message from home.
Get them! Take cover!
Swift and merciful. Submit for judgment. Punishment. I'm going in. Eat this. Whence you came, one with my blade. Light match. Judgment. You can't run. Submit for judgment. Everybody stand back. Shiver.
Overseeing my daughter.
Right.
I'll let him know that you've arrived.
Thanks.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, excuse me. Sir? Excuse me, sir. We've met before at the laundromat, right? Yeah, we met. You had a baby? A little boy?
No, sorry, you're confused. I have a little girl.
No, I remember what happened perfectly well. They said he was your son, a little boy, but I heard that you actually have a daughter. Was she born with any deformities? Your girl? Was she born with clubfoot? She wasn't, right?
Sir, your payment is still pending.
Yes, I'll be there in a moment.
Okay.
Carlos, how is my granddaughter? What's wrong with her?
Ma, she's okay. They said she's stable. That's what they told me anyway.
What happened? What is it?
That guy over
No, my sword. It's Serpentine. Rim cutter. Midnight phantasmagoria. Animal hypostasis tenacious.
No rest for the wicked.
Animal test 6308. It's Serpentine. Oz, reveal thyself. I summon thee! Enhanced animal module 70 power. Shadow Raven. Eyes on me! Animal test 6308.
No rest for the wicked.
No, my sword! Midnight phantasm.
He's with her now.
Hold up, calm down. Hey, let me. Kuka.
I'll never see you again.
She went to see Nora, so they'd release you.
But she's all right. We left her at the apartment with the baby. We didn't want to risk it.
Alvin, I just spoke to Bruna and took her to Pipeline.
go together, huh?
Let's dance. Whirling snow. Coming such a large. Ready, steady, go! Swirl, Mark 2. Absorption tank. I'll protect us. Take flight. Judgment. Ha! Whirling snow. Animal hypostasis and shiver. Scuffler swirl. Come on, we can do it. Let the show begin. Stand clear. Lights out. Yeah. My apologies. Embrace the ice.
It was supposed to be a surprise. I had been planning it for months, ever since my son was 12 I was building a strong bond with the baby.
Thanks.
Come and sit down. I can get you some soup. You feeling better?
Those two, well, they did feed me a bit at least.
Our kidnapped food would be the last thing on my mind.
No. You're fighting as hard as you can to go on living. So that you can see your loved ones again.
Papa, I'm so sorry. It was all my fault.
This one's got your name on it. Give up. Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Watch out! A proper send-off from Messina with love. This one's got your name on it. Ha. Feeling lucky? Fine. You're toast! Teamwork is dreamwork. Fire! Well, with rocks. Hey there! This one's got your name on it. It's nothing.
I couldn't do it alone. They wouldn't have let me see her. She was under supervision by the authorities.
You know what that means for her?
It means they're trying to pin the blame on Beatrice.
For the death of your son.
They're accusing her of trying to hide the weapon they supposedly found there.
Everything was planned. They didn't even need a discharge to be sent home. Beatrice requested to leave the hospital.
And they just let her go? That's it? Just like that?
Nora, it's impossible to put a patient against their will. You know that.
She was supposed to be sedated.
Marcella, she could have done this.
She's back, isn't she? I just know it.
Hi, you've reached Julia. Leave a message and I'll call you back in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I got your message. Let me do it in person.
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads, Be sure to share them with me, alright?
That'll be bad. But you have much more to lose than me.
Marcella has the ability.
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
She's able to just come and go from the hospital as if the whole place was hers.
The staff at the hospital.
Why don't I tell you my hypothesis first?
As the doctor
The way I see it.
pregnancy, you
It all started with that loud thud.
The thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Not every day that we deliver twins.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trip with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lenny's accomplice, Lynette perhaps, jumping atop the water tank or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
Wait, wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
I signed over the rights.
That's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
They told me, since everything is in order,
That does remind Paimon, though. What was with that sound?
But that's no problem. That's nothing compared to having you back.
I don't know why I'm so upset. The things we own in life, they come and go, that's what I say. It's just the way it is.
Well, I don't care if I have to go. I'm talking to Carl. He won't have anything yet. Well, we can't trust him. Why are you insisting on talking to Carlos then? That's exactly what I'm stop doing it.
When he's still talking to the guards, it seems he'll have a... I think someone... When he's still talking to the guards, I think someone... When he's still talking to the guard, I think someone will be... When he's still talking to the guards, it seems he'll have a lot of explaining to do. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's alright. Hey, you!
Did I wake you?
Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now. Huh? You mean us? That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No. And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine. Well, you're right on the mark about that one, but who are you? Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums. You name it. Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
You need to get some rest.
Come home, please.
So those who play by our rules call me boss.
No, it's
Huh?
fine, don't worry.
I'm Silver.
Is that you there?
Pleased to
A little
meet you.
bit.
And I'm Melus.
Nothing, I didn't eat the whole thing.
Various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Mademoiselle? What's your stupid name? Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, mademoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
You're trying to find a way
Okay,
to connect
if
with
you
them
say so.
too.
Not the remembers of Spina di Rosula anyway. All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Lenny an unlikely mastermind. Really? We think so too. That's why we're looking for clues
called intuition. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she?
Ever since you came back, you've done nothing.
But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times. Liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her. All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
She said she had something important to tell me.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well?
And why would that be?
This is what we're always talking about.
How'd you do it?
She probably did some kind of medical treatment sooner than pregnancy.
And then she's going to say you at home.
See, Silver and Maloose? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I, too, think that the traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Maloose. Anyway, I like your answer. You passed with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Huh? Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
Huh, that's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
It's kind of like when I messed up with my embryos.
I have nothing to add.
All the different medicine you're
Oh,
recommending that I
alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Linny's tricks. Thanks!
to make sure there were no complications in the future. Thank you so much for it. But that's a decision that only Carlos and I should make. But just timing couldn't be better. My brother just informed me that he finds it very strange that Yanni's son was born with clubfoot.
There seems to be a whole network around him. It's really hard to decide.
But if you separate Yenny and Marcella as well from the equation since they're strong twins, then Yenny will be all right, right?
Does this anything to do with it? You should always be prepared for your surprises. Megan has convinced herself that Marcella would keep quiet and stay in the
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case.
In the meantime...
Were you always guarding this entrance?
Lordy, a friend of hers who's so confident
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then, either. How can you be so sure? Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I could not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Millicines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This will be useful info.
I came here today to check out our balance, not to get some new invoice that definitely won't be covered by the insurance.
I know it won't be. Most insurers don't cover third-party
We checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
I don't want to see you in my hospital again.
You've arrived.
Let's get involved in
Who's this?
If I do see you.
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
You've looked after me the same way my father would have. Without you,
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
My father taught me that I can always rely on myself.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
I was gonna hang out, but you didn't hang out? Well, she told me she had gone to the States, but then she had to come back here.
Huh?
She said she had
Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here?
Is Mom busy right now?
She doesn't want to be interrupted. She's with Julia.
Julia found out that I asked for her.
I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Yes, but we knew that already.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
I'm gonna need you to deliver the laundromat.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Nora just wants to make sure that you can be of use to her, that's all.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
I'll explain later.
If you think that being Tessa's glorified witness is going to give
So
you
there was a
leverage, you should know
passageway
that
under the
you're
magic
responsible for
box.
someone else who most certainly would have better quality milk. A woman who is
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this
Well,
place.
I'm glad you've got a plan.
The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel.
The man who keeps shoving his love for another woman.
See this flatbed trolley?
Tonight, Yenny will no longer be a problem. So instead
The
of
box
throwing
with the
it
lucky
at us,
audience
you're going
member
to
in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction. I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Maybe. That's why your daughter's not eating much.
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes, a phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Lenny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow! Every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last!
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Lenny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
But at least the girl's actually hers.
And at least she won't need specialized treatments for clubfoot like previous son, though.
Main problem is the Weezers have already predicted the so why would they change their mind this time?
They wouldn't. But I don't think and if more finds out that she's got indigenous blood.
That is not going to work in our favor. The notary got in touch to say that the laundromat transfer papers are ready. We can give the money to Yenny, and then Ballo can take possession anytime after that.
I want next door to record the meeting. I want evidence that the money has been delivered. I just hope that once this is all over, they'll decide to go far away, and I don't see that woman or those criminals ever
Looks like
again.
a hook tied to the end
We
of a
won't have to
rope.
worry about Ballo.
Huh?
But that means different.
There's all kinds of
He
odds
still
and
has a
ends
copy
here.
of the contract. The surrogacy one that we gave to Yenny.
Perhaps
We gave
it
to
was a
notary,
prop
and now
for a
he's saying
different
he'll
trick.
show it to the press if we threaten him.
Why would it have been left here?
He wants to become Weezer Pharmaceuticals in
Whatever it
Tell that
is,
social
let's
climber
make a note of it
that our
first.
company would never hire such an imbecile. The man is threatening to disclose a confidential contract meant to set a trap that he participated in, which resulted in a death, which is still being openly investigated. It won't be that secret.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here? Oh! Hi, Nose! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear? And here's a broken vase! Huh. moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
She'd just been released from the hospital. She was still...
Yes, and at the hospital they gave us detailed instructions of her care by oculators.
Yes, I'm also grateful that you were able to get...
Oh,
there was no other hospital.
These are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
We were under that impression.
May I hold my daughter?
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them?
Let me make this very clear. I have to insist that
Ugh,
neither of you take
this
her
is so
anywhere again
confusing.
without knowledge
How
what
much
happens.
doesn't want to be a detective anymore?
Someone make decisions on behalf of your child. Now you understand how we felt when you unplugged Lucia.
What happened to Lucy was irreversible. She was never going to come out of that coma. The only thing I did was to comply with Lucy's final wishes.
Lucia would have never given up like that. She would have accepted whatever God willed for her.
She and I discussed it, and she told me otherwise. She told me that if she ever wound up in a coma, that she wanted to be disconnected and to have her organs donated to science. Would you hand me the diaper back?
What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head.
Beatrice. The policemen were simply trying to do their jobs. But we are going after the people who are actually trying to take down your husband and you. Here's your son instead. They're saying you give that gun his
Well,
grip.
we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malouse returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
I need your help.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
Sonia, I'm serious, you know.
So?
I'm leaving.
What did the
My
guards
mind is
say?
made up.
Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the opera house's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Lenny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
I don't want to see your face again.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
Why?
Don't ask me, sweetheart. I don't know, and I don't care. I'm just following orders here, and nobody needs you.
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the aura trace will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Heimann got another leg called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
Marcella, I need to know whether they're hiding the gun or not.
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
But remember that the
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Use the security footage from the
Whoa, there's no need for that. Heimann thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
We're going to protect both her and Bella.
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
And don't forget that
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pippi, I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
What's going on?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all. Just kidding, just kidding. Heimann will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh? Here? But how?
Understood, mademoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
There's so many things I took for granted in our marriage.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
And then suddenly everything is taken away.
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
Right until the last breath.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process.
Am I interrupting?
But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
Okay.
I was applauding. And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
This is something you've got to resolve amongst yourselves.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try, fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit.
Our daughter needs you.
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
Is that what you want? Why don't you tell me what you'd like me to do? Should I pump my breast?
All right, then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied in sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowell.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guards said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great. They're nice and crisp and super sweet.
She's probably on her way.
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3. Honest.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
Yes, but she's also the woman who stole my husband from
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
Because I need to know the truth. I need you to explain it. Marcella,
wait, even you don't believe Paimon? Thank you. If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Luce, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Curious. I'm going to need you to do me a huge favor.
Sure.
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right. Thanks for your help and for the snack.
Doing this because Cuckoo's really upset about losing her business, or what?
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malouse, it's time to go.
And I agree with you about that.
I'll be back if I find anything
What
new.
you're doing is more than just a little sacrifice. How can you even be sure that they'll give you the cash? And that Valentine stuff, I mean, he tried to
All right,
kill you.
it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense